All right, let's talk about turning all that great agile theory into something real. We're diving into the Agile Action Plan. And really, this is all about how we stop just talking about new ideas and actually start making them happen for good.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever been here? Your team just wrapped up an amazing workshop, right? Everyone's pumped, full of energy, scribbling down all these fantastic ideas. But then, you fast forward a couple of weeks, and poof, it's like it never even happened. All that great momentum just vanishes. Why does that keep happening?
Well, there's a name for this, or at least what we can call it, the transformation fade. It's that slide, that totally predictable slide, from the high of being inspired right back into the comfy old way of doing things. It's the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. So how in the world do we fight this fade? The answer is all about a shift in focus. We've got to move away from the big, flashy hype of these giant abstract goals, and instead we need to zoom right in on the small, repeatable actions we can do every single day. Think of it as choosing habits over hype.
Look, the solution here isn't some brand new, complicated system. It's way simpler than that. Real, lasting change always comes down to the basics. It's about the daily practices you actually do, the behaviors you and your team show each other, and the habits you build together over time.
Let me show you exactly what I mean. On one hand, you've got a goal like, be more agile. Sounds great, right? But what does that actually mean when you show up to work tomorrow? It's way too vague. The powerful move is to turn that into a concrete practice, a very specific, trackable habit. That's when the idea becomes a real action.
Okay, so we're all on board. Building habits is the goal. But how do we do that without it just becoming another thing on the to-do list? We need a tool, a guide. And that's exactly where this idea of an action canvas comes in. It's literally your map for a successful journey.
So the Agile Mindset Action Canvas, try to think of it less like another spreadsheet and more like your strategic roadmap. It's built for one specific purpose, to take those big Agile ideas and turn them into real, lasting habits by making you track how you're doing and constantly get better.
And the best part is, using it isn't some huge, complicated thing. It really just boils down to 3 straightforward steps. First, you map out your actions. Figure out the exact habits you want to build. Second, you define how you'll measure them. How will you know you're doing it? And third, that's when the journey really starts. You track your progress and you work on improving. Simple as that. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the entire process. Because you really can't improve what you don't measure. Without it, you're just guessing. Data gives you objective feedback. It tells you what's working and what isn't, so you can make smart changes instead of just hoping for the best.
Now, when we say measures, we're really talking about KPIs, or key performance indicators. And I know that can sound a little corporate and stuffy, but in this context, a KPI is something super simple. It's just a basic, measurable number that tells you very clearly how well you're sticking to your new target habit.
Okay, this is where the rubber really meets the road. Let's look at some examples. Say your desired habit is having a daily stand-up meeting. Your KPI is simple. Did the meeting happen today? And the target is clear, 5 out of 5 days a week. Or maybe you want to use a visual board. The KPI is that all the tasks get updated. The target, 100% are updated by the end of each day. See? It's simple, it's measurable, there's no gray area.
See, when you start to follow this process, something really important starts to happen. You're no longer just kicking off another project that's probably going to fizzle out. You are actively designing a sustainable journey. This is how you make real change stick.
And here's the payoff. What you get is a crystal clear action plan. You get a way to consistently track how you're doing, which naturally starts to build a culture of always improving. And that is what creates sustainable change. It's what finally moves your team from talking about theory to actually living it out in practice.
And this quote just nails the whole point perfectly. The real goal isn't just a quick win or checking a box. The goal is to create a sustainable transformation journey for the entire organization, embedding this new way of thinking right into the culture.
So, I want to leave you with one final thought, something you can act on. Don't try to change everything all at once. Think smaller. What is the one single, simple habit that your team could agree on and start tracking right now, today? Because that one small step, that's where the whole journey begins.